Hey guys, it's Leaf. So with the recent release of the RTX 3080 and 3070 and the AMD processor all kind of going horribly, I realized that now might be a good time to familiarize myself with some of the current technologies that exist in order to make these auto purchasing bots off online stores. A lot of you guys are probably trying to figure this out just as I am, because that seems like one of the only realistic ways to actually get a new graphics card or processor nowadays. So in this video, I'm going to talk about, it's going to be kind of a tutorial, but I'm going to talk about how I made a really basic bot and some of the API, the API that I used to interact with a Chrome browser, and also like kind of the logic of how I made the script. So first thing I tried was to find an API that actually directly talked with or directly communicated with Newegg or with Amazon or with Best Buy, whatever store I was trying to purchase this from. But from the research I did, it seemed, unfortunately, it seemed like it really wasn't an easy solution. I didn't really see a lot of very easy ways to talk with the store and get access to that kind of thing. And I didn't really see any like open source APIs for that. At least maybe I didn't look hard enough, but that didn't seem like the easiest solution here. So what I did end up doing was I found an API in Python called Selenium that actually just allows you to automate a browser. All right, so let's get into the code that I'd used. All right, first things first, you need the Selenium API, and that it can be downloaded in the description below. There is a nice 3-minute video. It explains exactly how to get Selenium and also the driver for Chrome. And I'm using Chrome in this case. You could use Firefox as well. You just need a different driver, and research that real quick. So once you have imported WebDriver from Selenium, you can use it. And here you just pass it the absolute path of the driver, which in this case is in the same folder as my scalper.py, and just set that equal to the browser variable. So this method right here, the browser.get method, you pass it a URL and it opens that page up. And it's pretty simple. So in this case, I passed it the site for the 3080 on Best Buy website. I actually tried this first on Newegg, and fun fact, they actually figured out that I was a bot, so I couldn't actually interact with the buy button. It would give me an exception, and then it eventually asked me if I was a human or not. The Best Buy one, I had no problems though. It worked pretty well with Best Buy. So I have this URL right here. The other thing I have here, I commented it out. This is a purchasable page. Since the RTX 3080 is obviously not purchasable right now, we actually have to compare it against a page that is purchasable and find that HTML element too. So that's why I put this here. Set this variable here, buy button equals false. This acts as a flag for my while loop. So while buy button is still equal to false, we have this try catch here. In the Selenium API, you have the ability to find elements by a class name, by an ID, by CSS stuff. All those you can do, and they are in. You can figure all this stuff out. The developer docs are in the description below for Selenium. I read through them really quickly. It's not that hard of a read. There's like 6 pages, and then you'll be fine. Here, I made a add to cart button is equal to add button equals browser.findElement by class name, this method right here. You pass it the name of a class, and it will return that element. Set that element equal to this variable, add to cart button. So how did I find the unique class for an element? So it's actually really easy. I'm sure a lot of you guys already know about this, but in Firefox or in Chrome, they all have a feature called Developer Tools. You can right click here and then find Web Developer and then search it that way. But in my instance, I actually, since Firefox is really nice, you can just right click and say inspect element. Then it brings up the HTML for the element. So you can actually just go over elements, scroll over elements, and it'll bring up their HTML. So in this instance, you have this button class. It has, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 classes, but a lot of these classes are not distinct. So this button disabled class, I looked through the whole page, realized that this class is unique to this button. If it has the button disabled class, then in this case it's sold out. So keep in mind, if you're watching this video in the future, that these web pages do tend to change. The developers for Best Buy online store, they do change the HTML. So just make sure you check this HTML yourself and then test the code and make sure it works. So when the button is sold out, it has this button disabled class, and that is what I test in the try catch statement. So here we try to set element equal to add to cart button. If it does not find it, it's going to throw an exception. And in that case, we know, okay, the button's open because it doesn't have this class in the code. Great. So what do we do if they don't have the button? We just print to the console, say button isn't ready yet, sleep, refresh the page. Buy button doesn't get set to true, so we restart the loop. So the exception, if the button primary equals it, what are we going to do? Well, we're going to print to the console, the button was clicked, and we're actually going to do this method right here, which is add to cart button dot click. It just clicks it. Then we're going to set this to true, and that's it. So this code is really, really simple, and all it does is actually click the buy button on Best Buy. It doesn't actually even add it to cart because there's another page that comes up at the time of me making this video. So this is more just a framework for you guys to make your own bot. Let's see how this works. I will run it. All right, Python 3 scalper.py, and let's see what happens when we run this. All right, so it opens the page. Then it checks to see if it is. Let's go check our console. Button isn't ready yet. Button isn't ready yet. Button isn't ready yet. It's gonna keep looping until the button's ready, right? There's really no way for us to test it on the 3080 page, but we can test it on a page that is open. So let's go to this page. Let's comment out this one, and let's test this code on a working page. And let's just look at this page real quick, just to see what this page looks like. All right, so this is just a overpriced laptop, severely overpriced laptop, and the buy button here, if we inspect the element, has this class right here called button primary, and that's a specific to the add to cart button on this specific time of making this video in Best Buy, on the Best Buy store. Obviously, all these elements are subject to change and also are going to be different depending on which store you choose to make this for. All right, so now let's try this code when we're going here. All right, let's see what happens when we run this code using a real web page, or using one that can actually be purchased from. So we open up and we click the add to cart button. Great. And this is all automated, and then it goes to this page. If you actually wanted to use this realistically, you'd have to make another script that clicks the go to cart button, and then when you click the go to cart button, you actually have to have it click not only checkout, but once you click checkout, I believe you'll have to enter in a ton of information. Yeah, so I have to log in and stuff like that. But you guys can figure that kind of stuff out. It's really, really simple from here. All these things can be done literally just by searching for HTML elements and then interacting with them. There's even ways to auto fill out forms and stuff like that using this API as well. So it's super, super useful, and I definitely think that this is strong enough to make a working bot. So that is the basic code for this. I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch this video, and if it helped you out at all, please hit the like button, and I'm planning on making more content, just little programming projects that hopefully can help you guys out for stuff that just interests me. So if you enjoy that kind of content, please consider subscribing. I hope you guys figure out a really neat way to utilize this API and make a pretty intelligent bot out of this. Thanks for watching.